sure some of you guys are familiar with what it's like to date Long Island Jewish girls. But if you're not familiar with them, have you ever had a conversation with someone that immediately turned into that person interviewing themselves? Sitting out to dinner with this girl, she's like, do I want to get married and have kids? Yes. Does it have to be tomorrow? No. Am I looking to get on the right track? Of course. I'm like, do I even need to be here? No. Am I going to pay for this whole meal? Yes. Am I going to get any action whatsoever? Of course not. I had been dating this non-Jewish girl for a while, and it got to the point, a little past the casual stage. So when a Jewish guy is dating a non-Jewish girl, we do this thing called, we give them the Schindler's test. And if you're unfamiliar with the Schindler's test, that's when a Jewish guy is dating a non-Jewish girl, and you kind of subtly, inconspicuously get her to watch Schindler's List so that you could judge her on her response. But you gotta be subtle about it, you know, you gotta be, slip it in, right? So I'm like, hey, honey, you want to just hang out tonight? We'll rent a movie, just veg out. She's like, yeah, totally awesome. I've been dying to see Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde. So I'm like, yeah, we can see that. We can see Legally Blonde 2. Or we can get Schindler's List. So we do it, we're watching it, she's doing well, she's emotionally invested, she's asking good, thought-out questions, until the part when Ray Fiennes' character, he played, if you don't remember, he played like the really evil Nazi, as opposed to the not so evil Nazis. But he steps out onto his balcony, and with his rifle, he just starts arbitrarily picking off prisoners. And he hits 3 in a row. And then on the 4th, his rifle experiences like some kind of glitch, and he misses the 4th one, to which my girl goes, oh, almost 4 for 4. And I'm like, that would have been sweet. Because she was really hot, and we have to pick our battles. So I live in New York. I actually live in the 40s on the 27th floor of my building, which means that about 2 months ago, I actually had a view of that plane crash into the Hudson. I didn't see it happen, but I saw the aftermath for sure. And, not to get all sentimental in the middle of my set, but like, if you're on that plane and it crashes into the Hudson River and you realize that not only are you okay, but everyone else on the plane was at least relatively okay, you gotta be wondering, am I going to get the frequent flyer miles for this flight? Because they only flew about 2 miles, but they floated 1. And this guy's a hero now, the Captain Sully, he's a hero, right? He was on Letterman, he was at the Super Bowl. He's got 170,000 Facebook friends. Did you know that? I've been doing comedy for 8 years, 73 Facebook friends. You know he was aiming for those birds. You know it. That's what crashed the plane. Birds flew into the engines and it crashed. He's been flying planes for 50 years. He's got to cure his boredom, right? He's talking to his co-pilot. He's like, yo, Carl, watch me thrash these fucking geese. Mayday, mayday! We're going down! I don't know why! 170,000 Facebook friends. What is that about? Oh my God, I love Facebook. My favorite aspect of Facebook is finding out which one of my idiot friends can't figure out the verb is. Lindsay is, happy birthday, Steph. No! Idiots! We're mutual friends, this is embarrassing for me. You could also comment on someone's relationship status. status? How intimate is that? Lindsay is now single. OMG. What happened? 3 question marks. Stephanie. Really, Stephanie? Really? I could only assume that your genuine concern for Lindsay is sincere, as evident by the 3 question marks. But the fact that you voiced that concern via Facebook relationship status comments, I'm gonna have to say you couldn't give a fucking shit. It's a social networking site. It's a place where friends can reconnect, Facebook, right? But how often does our reconnection never get past the approving as friends stage? Isn't that awkward for both people involved? It's basically like saying, yes, I approve you as friends. I acknowledge that I once knew you at some point in my life, but let's keep the relationship at that, pal, all right? There's a reason why we weren't keeping in touch in the first place. Facebook is not gonna make it happen. It's basically like saying, I'll give you access to my profile and you can see how fat I've gotten. If you give me access to yours, I can see how fat you've gotten. We'll judge each other. It's not so dissimilar from dogs in a park agreeing to sniff each other's assholes. And that's what Facebook is. It's dogs sniffing each other's assholes. Thank you. Oh, man. You get interesting questions when people find out you're a comedian for a living. You know, some people are like, are you funny? Other people are, you know, when's your next show? How did you get into that? But I had an interesting one the other day. I was at my parents' house and my mom's friend was there. My mom's friend Janet was there. And it's kind of fucked up because that's her real name. And she said to me, she goes, David, you're so funny. You should call Jerry Seinfeld. Now in my head, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. But I can't say that, it's my mom's friend, so I say, Janet, I wouldn't know how to go about getting in touch with Jerry Seinfeld. And then she says, well, I can't think of everything. Like making me the idiot now in the equation. I'm like, what the fuck did you think of? Call Jerry Seinfeld? Holy shit, Janet, you are an innovator. Did you imagine if that's how it worked? For me to achieve my career goals, all I'd have to do is call the person that had already accomplished that shit, and then we switch places. You struggle with writing this stuff, right? But then sometimes you get blessed, like from the comedy gods with like a real life thing. Like I was doing shows in Atlantic City, I'm sitting playing blackjack, and this elderly woman's at my table, the only other person at my table, and she's wearing one of those yellow Lance Armstrong bracelets. You know, I never knew what those things meant. Finally I cracked to ask this woman, I'm like, man, I see those all over the place. What do they mean? And she goes like this, she goes, it's for cancer awareness. Right in the act, you know? Sometimes you just say stuff and you're like, gold. I was in Quiznos. You know the sandwich place Quiznos? Guy makes my sandwich, lines it up, gets it all ready to cut, and he looks up to me with some attitude. He's like, how many halves you want this in? Let's go with 2.